Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about another one of the 12 races that I'm thinking of for the 12 races campaign setting. And again, this is a working project. I'm pretty much giving you what I have just in my head. I have very little notes on this right now. Now, the Gryx are based loosely off of the half-orc stats. I've made some changes. I've kept some of the things the same. And I've tried to put them forth as the ultimate pragmatists, survivalists, hardcore laborers and workers, very staid, very stoic. These are the type of people that will survive in places that no one else can function in. They live in the marginalized regions of the world, and they are valued as workers and unfortunately as slaves, because the world will have such unpleasantness in it, because we do too. As again, I'm basing this on half orcs, and I freely admit I stole the name Gryx from Harp, but I read it and I just love the word. It's Gryx, and it's the way I love the way it rolls off the tongue. I like the way it's spelled. I like the fact it's got an X in it. So I have a thing for words, and this one hits a certain spot in my head. So the Gryx have a +2 bonus to 1 ability score. Just like humans, they can put where they want to. It gives them a fair amount of versatility. They are medium height, they medium size, they have normal speed, they have dark vision out to 60 feet. The Gryx say that the gods gave them dark vision so that they could work all around the clock 24/7. They are hardy. The Gryx receive a +2 bonus to all strength and constitution-based skill checks that relate to work or effort over time. The Gryx are famous as tireless workers. So this is used for carrying things, for lifting things, for trying to avoid starvation, thirst, heat, cold. This is all about being tough. The Gryx are tough. Tireless. Gryx require only 4 hours of sleep a day to remain healthy. They regain spells or psychic power points during the 4-hour period, as others do during an 8. They may rest to regain such abilities only once per day. So this is not going to make them any better at being spellcasters or psionic classes. It just means that they need less sleep. They're very popular when it comes to watches, because they take a 4-hour break and then the rest of the night they're up all night long making sure the camp's safe. They're efficient. Gryx only require half the food and water needs of a normal medium-sized humanoid. So they have very few. Whoops! I just spelled something wrong. They have very few needs when it comes to food and water. This again makes it easy for them to survive in extreme situations. And languages, they start with Trade Tongue and Gryx, and those with high intelligence scores have access to Dwarven, Gnome, and Jotun, which is again another of the 12 races I'll be doing at some point in the future as bonus languages. Now, physically, the Gryx are slightly taller than humans. Humans in this are going to be 5'4" for women, 5'8" for men. Gryx are about 5'6" for women, 5'10" for men. So they're a little bit taller than human beings, but their weight is the same. So they tend to be leaner. They have a lower body fat ratio than humans do, very slightly. I mean, you couldn't say someone was pointing at them and say, hey, that's a Gryx, just by them looking at their back. They have hair, just as humans carry hair. However, their facial structure and the way their hairline is set up, I'm stealing this completely from the half Klingons that were found in the later Star Trek series. So if you look at a number of the different half Klingons, particularly, is it Keelar or something like that, was dating Worf at one point in the series. The way her facial structure with the forehead ribbing, that's very much what they look like. They also have, as opposed to having a nose that slopes like this, their nose is straight. So from the point here to here is a line. So it gives them a slightly bestial look to their face. Their teeth are just as normal as the rest of they're not rest of this humanoid species. They aren't particularly savage as the Klingons tend to have. They do not have pointed ears. Their ears are a little smaller and swept back a little bit more than humans are, but again, you would not find that unusual by looking at them. You think there are people who have the same traits. Their skin tone is a little bit darker than human, just ever so slightly. They handle sunlight well, part of their whole being hardy and tough. So I'm kind of inspired by the Harok from Talislanta, which were portrayed as being very, very hardy pragmatists. So it's kind of a fusion of that particular group and just being incredibly good as laborers and workers and commoners. The Gryx just work hard. They work a lot. They don't necessarily seek great fortunes for the most part, but they're very good at maintaining what they have and prospering because they can just work so much. I mean, they can literally work 20 hours a day, every day, without ever worrying about it. They don't take days off. Gryx just keep going. So they have something in common with dwarves, and the Jotun are known as also being very robust and individuals, and gnomes because they are clever workers and things, so they have connections to these races, and I appreciate them for what they have when it comes to skills and such. And they also appreciate humans for the fact that the humans are the most diverse of the races and the most widely scoped when it comes to skills and feats. So these are the Gryx. They're a good choice if you want to play a very stoic kind of character, one who it's all about getting the job done. Gryx soldiers are not ones to be barbarians for the most part. They'd be soldiers. They would make great Roman legionnaires. They get in line, they march forward, they kill their enemy with absolute efficiency, and then move on to the next job. You know, and it's this boom, boom, boom. This very much, it's one step. The whole concept of you always keep moving forward is very much a Gryx way of looking at the world. A common Gryx saying would be, if you're marching through hell, don't stop. So that's who the Gryx are and who I'm presenting them as. I hadn't really gotten any deeper into that. I'm figuring that their relationships amongst themselves are very similar to humans. There's nothing particularly unusual about their social structures. They tend to have monogamous relationships. They tend to have nuclear families. They have a fairly tight-knit clan structure, but again, all falling fairly easily within the same realm of familiar relationships that humans have. So, what do you think of the Gryx? Do you think they're interesting? Do you think they're balanced? I think they are balanced. They have a number of things that benefit a character, but nothing that really pushes them over top as far as power-wise goes. But this is a character you definitely want to play if you want that Energizer bunny just keeps going and going.